that the paper that you quote, am I correct that you were not entirely familiar with it?
I haven't read the paper in a long time.
Yes, I'm saying yesterday, yeah, you were not entirely familiar with its conclusion.
My point in using a reference, as I explained to you, was simply to talk about the assumptions the paper is investigating and showing don't actually exist in the way people live on a day-to-day basis. Sure. What the paper was saying was looking at the discrepancy between what is popularly assumed and what is lived. This is what the paper is about. It's talking to how people live beyond and outside popular assumptions. The assumptions that I refer to as guiding.
No, actually it doesn't. It's the topic that misled you. The topic in inverted commas makes the assumption, but the paper critiques the assumption.
Yes, and that is what I am critiquing too, that the assumptions are very problematic.
All right. Ordinarily, when an expert says she has not had sight of the full record, it would stop. But I think we would learn a little more from you if we just pursue a few assumptions that you make. Am I correct that one of the assumptions you make in reaching your conclusion is this child, that you say the complainant in these circumstances is sort of childlike in her approach? In fact, I think you used the phrase childlike.
Yes, if we look in terms of a kind of structuring of relationship,
Yes.
father, and if you call someone father, that implies you are the child. Therefore, childlike, not an actual child.
In fact, the chairperson asked you this question. It's for that reason. Is it for that reason that where she says something, you attempt to interpret it differently so that we must trust you, not her word?
In relation to the father relationship?
Just generally, you keep saying she said this, but she meant this. I'm saying one of your assumptions is that we should not, and I think you explained this, we should not believe at face value what she says. We must believe your interpretation of what she says.
And I explained why I came to that conclusion.
I know. We'll get there, Ms. Vetten. Don't psychoanalyze me. You don't know where I'm going. I'm saying you made the choice that even where her words say something else, we in this tribunal must believe how you interpret it.
I'm offering an opinion, which is up to the tribunal to accept or reject.
Yes, that's all I'm saying, is that your opinion is that we must believe you about what she means.
As I said, it's up to the tribunal to decide whether they do believe.
Okay.
I am asked to offer an opinion, which you accept or reject.
It's fine, man. It's fine. We're gonna take this further.
Sorry, she sounds like her voice to me is confused. Is she being properly recorded? Are we having that assurance that the evidence is being properly recorded? Somebody has to raise their hand to say, I'm looking. I need an assurance that this recording is accurate and proper. There's an English saying which says, I'm sure it's this back to the day when you see students and using ink and a fountain pen. The teachers would tell us, please write whatever you've got, whatever has to be written, because even after some time, if the ink fades, there's an English expression which says, the faintest ink is better than the strongest memory. So we are not going to try and rely on our memory. We are going to rely on the recording. And that is why it has got to be done properly. And once you feel that it's not being done properly, just stop us. Thank you. There being no indication to the contrary, we assume that the recording is clear and accurate. Thank you. You may proceed, Mrs. Vattel.
All right. The point I was making, Ms. Verten, was that, yes, it's for the tribunal to decide, but you are the expert giving an opinion. And all I'm saying to you is that the assumption in your opinion is that faced with words and phrases and statements from the complainant, you offer, and many times yesterday, you offered a different interpretation of what she said. Sometimes the opposite, you call it deferring, even when she's saying something straightforward from her mouth.
The particular example you refer to, deferring, is one, at the time she says, will do. So if we take that at face value, she's going to go and take a photograph.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. He asks her again and persists to ask for a photograph which is not sent. One way that can be interpreted is that when she says will do or I'm going to do something and I'm not doing it, it's one of those situations where you tell people in order to placate them, I'm going to do it, but you don't. So one must look at the words and the action. As I said, the first time this happens, you take what people say at face value. But again, if you look at patterns, then you see there is a pattern here of saying one thing and doing another thing.
Did you interview the complainant?
No, I was not asked to.
No, I'm not asking you that, ma'am. I'm asking, just say yes or no. You don't have to be sarcastic with me. I'm saying, did you interview the complainant?
Chair, I'm so sorry. I am not the evidence leader, but can I please ask that the panel instructs Advocate Sikakane not to say things like that the witness is psychoanalyzing him when she's clearly not, or that she's being sarcastic when she's clearly not. It's true that she's not answering yes or no, but I don't think that helps these proceedings at all. Thank you.
Mr. Sikakane. Mr. Sikakane, you said what she says.
So, Ms. Verten, all I'm saying to you is that because you did not interview her, don't you agree with me that the possibility that your interpretation and analysis of her intention could be wrong?
One can't rule that out.
In fact, you do explain, and I think it's an important, and it's covered in many of your papers, which are good. You do explain that when people face at workplace these particular situations of hierarchies and someone powerful, and they can get confused about what they do or what they say, right? But let me ask you a rather personal question. You work at VETS, don't you?
I'm a research associate. I'm not an employee.
Yes. But knowing you, wherever you've worked, I think